So, not to get too excited about this, but I think it's important because
Like,
it may happen, right? So, there is no official sequel greenlit for Godzilla minus one. That's just got to say that. Takashi Yamazaki is working on another film. He's got another project that's in development, and it's nothing to do with Godzilla. However, he has come around and said, "Hey, this is what I would like to do if I'm privileged enough to come back." So just lay it out there. There is no confirmation yet, but Toho would be incredibly stupid to not rehire the director of the third highest grossing foreign language film of all time.
yeah.
That is what Godzilla minus one is. It has absolutely, unequivocally smashed everything. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy times. So what was said? What was said? Well, he's speaking to Empire magazine and he says, I don't know if anyone has achieved a more serious tone of kaiju versus kaiju with human drama. That challenge is something I would like to explore. When you have movies that feature kaiju battles, I think it's very easy to put the spotlight and the camera on this massive spectacle, and it detaches itself from the human drama component. And he said a little bit further. Yeah. So, I mean, look. About that specifically, we'll move on to the next bit in a minute. But about that specifically, Godzilla minus one, that universe, that origin, that version of Godzilla, I think lends itself really nicely to a kaiju battle. And I said in my video, which I did today, have him fight Mothra, right? You can generate new kaiju in this universe that was established in Godzilla minus one very easily, actually, with the same method that Godzilla was created. But the way to keep it same tone as Godzilla minus one is still have Godzilla a villain, right? Don't have him switch. Don't have another Titan come and him sort of save the day. No. Keep him as the villain. Keep him as this menacing force of nature. So have him against Mothra. Create Mothra in the same vein, same way. Somehow, I'm sure it can be done. And have Godzilla minus one fight Mothra. Have Mothra in her traditional way, right? Have her be the protector. Her trying to protect humanity, protect Japan, Tokyo, whatever. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about what he says? Because what he says actually is quite funny, because when he's talking about this, you have movies that feature kaiju battles. It's very easy to put the spotlight and the camera on the massive spectacle, and then detaches itself from the human drama. That's actually what a lot of MonsterVerse fans want them to do, is to remove the human drama. So what do you think of these comments? And what do you think about a kaiju on kaiju battle? Yay, nay, what kaiju would you have?
Well, I think the issue that most people have with the MonsterVerse legacy movies and the human drama is the stupid humans. Like the biggest example being the mother character in the second film, right? Where, yeah, like that's a stupid character and they did not belong there. And they were also pissed off that we got the bait and switch in the first Godzilla with, what's his face from Breaking Bad, Cranston, and then getting flipped out for Quicksilver and his sister in the second half. Those things I think bothered people the most, the two things the most. Otherwise, I mean, some people are annoyed by Millie Bobby Brown still lingering in this franchise, because I'm like them. I'm like, why is she still here? Doesn't need to be here. I mean, because that's kind of where the Godzilla movies, even the more serious ones, they didn't really generally do sequelized characters outside of a few ancillary characters here and there, unless you count the Americanized version with Perry Mason, the actor's name I just forgot. But Godzilla 85 is technically just a straight sequel to the first film too. So, but again, like you just said, Godzilla is a bit more menacing in those versions, and I agree to a point. 9 times out of 10, you want him in more of a adversary role, and somebody like Mothra to do it, and then like set up a third film in some way, not like directly, but like that's where if you're gonna have them fight together, wait till. Because I'd love to see this guy's version of Ghidorah, right? And if you
Yeah.
Ghidorah be from outer space and all that stuff, and that's why Mothra is kind of being awakened or whatever. Because I don't mind her just being like this ancient thing that's always kind of been apart and regenerates throughout time. She doesn't have to be like caused by any kind of nuclear explosion or anything like that necessarily. It just can be a natural thing that like Godzilla awakened her, right? Like, and
Mm.
where she comes out in the second film, or something like that. And then third film, then you can maybe have them team up, like you said, because I agree with you. You
Yeah.
don't always have to have Godzilla be this anti-hero force. In fact, I agree with you. That was the best thing about this movie, aside from it just being a good movie, was it's the first time in a long time where we've had Godzilla just be the problem since pretty much Godzilla 98 or Shin Godzilla, the only two you can count in recent last 20 years. And Shin Godzilla is obviously standing on its own now as its own thing. So I would like to see this being a franchise setup, and I think they started it off correctly by setting it back in the day. So then this one can take place in say like the 50s or maybe even a little bit later than that. But I'd still try and keep it somewhat in a time period setting, and not try to modernize it in any way. But I'm going to get excited
Okay.
because I think he will come back. I think he'll do this other movie, and Toho would be stupid to not sign him up for a sequel.
I can't imagine them using somebody else to do it. I mean,
Mm.
seriously, and it was so well done, and obviously his brain works like it needs to for these kinds of films. He's able to obviously put that previs in his head and then convey that to the other people he's working with to give you what we got with so few effect shots. Still can't believe what he did with that.
Mm.
And so when I look at that project, I'm hopeful, like Tom is, if they actually move forward with it. But there's no reason you would use anybody else, and you wouldn't just wait for whatever he's working on now. I would
Mm.
wait for him to
Well, you
come
got
back
time
and
to cash in on this one, man. It's not even going to hit video till later this year and crap. It's not even going to hit any streaming services till next year. You got time.
Yeah, so that's like the whole point, right? So that would be my aim, and I would love to see I in the string here I used Mothra, but I would love to see something wake up to try to challenge him. A protector of Japan rather than Godzilla's the villain. We want Godzilla to be the existential threat. That's when Godzilla works best.
Yeah. Well, this so he says, look, I can tell you the -1 sequel is not going to be my next film.
Right.
I've already got my next film in development that I'm working on, but will it be the one after that? That remains to be seen. Like I said, third highest grossing foreign language film of all time.
And
I think maybe I said highest, I can't remember. But
I
yeah,
think it
third
is.
highest grossing foreign language film of all time. Pretty insane. But what do we think his next film is? Because again, he was recently scoped out at Lucasfilm. I pray to Christ they haven't.
I don't think it's a Star Wars movie. He'll never get that off the ground. I think he's going to do something for Toho or something like that. I don't see him jumping into America quite yet. Could be wrong, but
All right, Culture. Any last words on this, guys?
For me, I just want to see another movie this guy does, because he does movies right. There aren't a lot of people that do film right anymore. We were just talking about a guy that, got lucky and, took advantage of an adaptation in Ridley Scott. I want good filmmaking again. I mean, literally, I'd be delighted if I could just get good filmmaking again. Please.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Excellent. Nice. I don't have much else to say on this. I'm game for him to do anything, to be fair, with Godzilla.
Yeah.
I think you found someone that truly understands it in the modern era and can also, create an absolutely staggeringly good film for a pittance, essentially. I mean, he embarrassed Hollywood. I've said it many times. There's many a video I did with that as the title, and it's true. Godzilla genuinely crushed Japan. The amount of money this film made in profit versus the American box office in terms of films and stuff, I mean, it's been laughable, absolutely laughable. So yeah, bring him back, Toho. You'd be stupid not to bring him back. There we go.